Hare Krishna, everyone. I know that the month of Kartik has already started and you've probably already chosen your vows and you've already been following them. But I did want to share a few tips about Kartik and about Kartik vratas or Kartik vows. And this can be useful even though the month has already started, and if you're watching this in the future in 2025 or so on, before Kartik, then it can be very helpful for the beginning of that Kartik season. So a few thoughts. I had some discussions with some devotees who were trying to plan out their vows for the month. And then some discussions came up in community groups that led me to get the idea that it would be very helpful to post a video online for people who have these sorts of questions and are not sure what to do. And this can also just be helpful in general. So if you don't know what the month of Kartik is, I won't be going into a full explanation in this video, but I can post another video about that in the near future. And there's plenty of resources online that you can look into that can explain it. Or go to your local Hare Krishna temple and ask anybody there, and they'll be able to explain to you what the month of Kartik is and what it's all about. So regarding Kartik vows, or Kartik vratas, as we say, over the years I've seen all sorts of varieties of vows that people take, and I've seen the consequences of those vows, good or bad, in the sense of, are people actually able to follow the vow? Does it help them feel closer to Krishna? Does it help them feel inspired during the month of Kartik? So one thing that came up in discussions with other devotees is that this is my own personal experience. You may have a different experience, and I'm always happy to hear any thoughts that people have on this subject. But for one thing, I was thinking that Kartik shouldn't be a time where you form new habits, right? Forming a new habit is a lifestyle change. And that's a change that you should be making consciously for the long term. So it may be like short-term goals to get up to a long-term goal that you spend, the next several months working on, rather than just saying, if I can just get to the end of these 30 days or, however many days Kartik is, if I could just get to the end, then I'll have formed a new habit. I feel like the vow should be something that you add, a little something that you add to your practice that's very easy to follow, but keeps you consistent throughout the month in doing something extra for Krishna. So we want to remember that our path is the path of bhakti. It's the path of devotion. We are approaching Krishna and we're trying to repair a broken relationship with him. So what we're doing during the month of Kartik is we're getting that little extra boost where we say, okay, for this month, I'm even going to do something a little extra to come closer to Krishna. And that can be the simplest thing. The vow should be something that is doable, that you can keep. And the vow should be something that makes you wish Kartik would never end, rather than a vow that's difficult to keep and makes you wish Kartik would end as soon as possible, right? The month of Kartik is a very sweet month. We sing such a beautiful song, and offering the ghee lamps or candles or whatever it is that you offer every day to Damodar is just such a nice exchange, and it's just very pleasant. So what we don't want to see the month of Kartik as is a month to do some sort of difficult austerity that we're hoping is just over soon. We're hoping we can live through it. So for example, especially don't forget, the month of Kartik, we have Govardhan Puja around that time. So sometimes I see devotees take the vow of no sweets for this month. And then it's just, Govardhan Puja is really painful for them. They're dancing around the mountain. They know they can't have any of the sweets. They're meditating on it very heavily. And I've even seen people in the past who chose a vow surrounding prasadam, certain types of prasadam, for example, sweets that they wouldn't eat. And throughout the month kept trying to figure out if those things that were cooked for a feast or some sort of any situation where it was something that they really wanted to eat, they kept trying to figure out if they could freeze it, because they're already thinking ahead to the end of Kartik. Like, I can't enjoy this now, so I hope this lasts till the end of Kartik so I can enjoy it then. It just kind of defeats the purpose. It doesn't bring you closer to Krishna. It doesn't make you feel inspired. It just makes you feel restricted. So I always feel like a vow should be something really simple, and it could be the simplest thing, as simple as making sure you offer a ghee wick every day, or a candle every day without fail. And so what you do in that situation is you create some consistency in your devotional practice. You vow to do something consistently for Krishna that's a little extra each day. And surprisingly, it just feels good. It gives you more taste when you see that, yeah, if you don't take that vow to offer the candle, you may assume that, yeah, it's Kartik. Of course, we offer a candle every day. And you might find in your day that it's been a little hectic. I won't be able to make it today. But if you take that vow, it's just a little extra thing that you can do, and it makes you feel like you did go the extra mile for Krishna. It could also be something as simple as reading one verse from the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam every day, not even the purport, just the verse. And what typically happens is, psychologically, the mind thinks, okay, that's easy enough, I'll make time for it. And then once you start reading, you typically get inspired and you want to know what Prabhupada says about that verse and his purport, and it just leads to more reading. But if you really don't have time to read the purport, at least you still kept the vow. So these vows, they should inspire us. They should make us want to do more. They should make us feel like, well, I was actually able to accomplish something. And of course, we may think to ourselves, well, if it's not, if it's not that difficult, we're not really doing anything extra for Krishna. But I don't think Krishna is looking for us to suffer or do some very difficult, austere thing. Krishna wants us back. That's the bottom line. Everything he does, every festival, every special month like this, the whole purpose is to get us back. The whole purpose is to create a situation that's inspiring to us so that we can remember our relationship with Krishna, and we can feel more inspired to put more effort into repairing it. So it's not about quantity, it's about quality. It's not about how difficult is this, it's about how consistent can I show up, how consistently can I show up for Krishna. And so that's one of the thoughts. And so I was thinking that even though the month has already started and you may have already picked a vow, maybe even a vow that you're already having trouble following, just remember, Krishna is a person. Everything we do, according to Rupa Goswami, is so that we can always remember Krishna. And everything we don't do is so that we don't forget Krishna. And so if you've picked a vow that's just kind of over the top, it's too difficult, it's not inspiring, and you're already finding out a few days into Kartik, how am I going to make it through the month? It's okay to go to Krishna and say, I think maybe I picked something that's not going to inspire me to come closer to you. So I'd like to switch it to something that's more inspiring and go through the rest of the month being inspired. Because Krishna's he's not a machine. He's not going to say, or he's not a technocrat. He's not going to say, sorry, you already picked the vow. You're done. You're done for. I don't care what your intention is. We know, as Prabhupada explains, that Krishna knows what our intention is. Bhava Grahi Janardana. Right? He knows what our intention is behind things. He knows what our mood is. He knows why we do what we do. And so knowing that, if you feel like you've chosen something that might be a little too much, you're already having trouble keeping it, you feel like it won't make you inspired, it's okay to go to Krishna and just say, I'm going to, for the rest of the month, pick this other thing that I feel like will bring me closer to you, and I will stay consistent with it for the rest of the month. So that's just a few thoughts. We have to remember with everything we do, why we're doing it. Why are we doing this vow? Just like, why are we fasting? Why are we taking vows? Right? Everything is meant to bring us closer to Krishna. Everything is meant to inspire us. So we latch on somewhere. We latch on to something. And then we start to get a higher taste, and that turns into the snowball effect, right? Once you get a little higher taste, you want more. When you do more, you want more. When you read more, you want to read more. When you chant more and you try to chant attentively, you want to chant more. So that's the purpose behind everything that we do. So I hope that this can help you in your practice of Kartik this month and the practice of your vows for Kartik. And I would also suggest just one vow. You can do extra things throughout the month, but commit to at least one of them. And whatever extra is extra. But don't pile up a bunch of vows thinking that, okay, it's almost like a New Year's resolution, right? People just think, well, it's the new year, so suddenly I'm going to change my lifestyle. Okay, but that takes time. This is something we're just adding on to our devotional practice during this month. So let's keep the month of Kartik very sweet and inspiring, and feel like when it's close to being done, we just can't wait for the next year to do it again. Rather than when it's done, thinking, I survived just barely, and I'm so glad that's over. We don't want to think that way. If you have any thoughts you want to share, as always, I'll be including my email address in the description below. So feel free to write to me. Hare Krishna and happy Kartik.